these rumors that have been going on, circulating on social media, I have had time to respond, but not in a manner of altercation, but hopefully to teach, to have a conversation with you and let you know that credibility in the media is not anywhere as important as popularity. Someone might be someone who, people cover or hear news from, but if they are not credible, it is dangerous for us to offer them space, to offer them voice, to give them a position that really creates a lie, and a lie gets legs, and legs get eyes, and then this is a whole, mantra. In my audio, which I shared, particularly with Impact and with Pearl, I have had impact, and I want to thank Dr. Serwada, who I spoke to directly when I had this, because he acted quickly, apologized, and said he would create space for this audio. I spoke to Haji Gwaivu, friend of mine, who I think is a director in Pearl, but I have not had the response from Pearl yet. In that audio, I raised 3 things, and I don't want to repeat them at length, just for us to have context. I said that whenever we hear a rumor, whenever we pick a falsehood, it is extremely important for us as media houses first to trace the attribution. Where is it coming from? Who is it attributed to? How do we prove that this person they're talking about, or allegedly speaking, is the one that we hear? Now, that principle of attribution, some of you have, if you've studied journalism, is extremely important, because people take others to court based on who are you attributing this to, and have you spoken to him? Many times you've seen, my background is also media. In print, you would rather say unknown source, a source which could not allow to be revealed. You are still not sure, but you cannot attribute just someone carrying a message and say this comes from Odrek, and you run it. I spent some time on that principle, and I don't want to repeat it. The other principle I think I spent some time on is objectivity. The principle of objectivity. Because all of us are very biased. We are biased by our professions. We are biased by the people we live with. We are biased by the events and circumstances that we see. And often it is very difficult for us to act impartially. That's human nature. That's very understandable. Now, but you as a media house, extremely important that you park your bias on the shelf and remain, for lack of a better word, empty in your mind and trust facts and trust impartiality. Why? Our biases influence the way we see the world. And if we have an opportunity as a channel, you can imagine 60% of Ugandans listen to radio stations. If they hear something that lacks objectivity, you are now contributing to the whole world of superstition, because our country is still superstitious. There are people who you see, like I was saying in the audio, dressed in ties and suits, but extremely superstitious. When they hear a rumor, they think, oh, that must be it. So to remain objective is to hold yourself, to restrain yourself as a moderator, as a reporter. The third one I spoke about was the principle of honesty. Honesty, because often, it is very hard to face facts. Sometimes facts change the way we see the world. Sometimes facts we would want today to rain, but it shines. And the fact of the sun coming out and shining challenges our perception of, I expected it to rain. You feel unhappy. But when you are honest with yourself, especially in the media, You treat A as A regardless of whether it hurts you, whether it is popular, whether it creates money. You deal with it from a very principled stand. Now, for me, I thought that those three were the kind that were missing in what I have been reading, what I have been hearing, and I really wanted to not, respond angrily, but to say, let's share these principles, and if they will help you to work better, we can even have other sessions to expound on them.